Hey guys, welcome back to Utterly Unfiltered with
Tash
and Cara. Today we've got a little boundary setting one, don't we?
Mm-hmm.
Why we should be saying no instead of yes.
Yeah, why
I nearly got it confused.
Why we keep saying yes.
Why we keep saying yes.
Be saying no.
No!
Oh, we are so bad for this,
Why
aren't
are we so bad?
Mm-hmm.
We're so bad for this. Anyways, before we get involved in all of that, Jazz, how are you?
I'm good.
Good. I love your earrings, by the way.
Thank you.
They have little things inside of them.
Do they?
Oh no, they're not that. I thought they were inside of something, but they're not. They're like little balls.
They're just like
things.
balls.
Love
But
them.
I braided my hair last night like I always do.
Oh, nice.
I took it out this morning. Hagrid hair.
That's my thing.
Honestly, it was awful.
Tash had a haircut. I know we mentioned this in a previous podcast, and super
Too
not happy with it.
I just too short. It's my fault. I just shouldn't have asked for it so short. I wanted like a fresh chop. I wanted to get rid of all the dead ends. I haven't got it cut in like a year. I wanted it short so that when I go traveling, it grows out, and it's like I don't have to get it cut whilst I'm traveling, and it's not getting in my way. Like at the moment, like I'll braid my hair at night. Well, not at the moment anymore, but previously I'd braid my hair at night, and then like I would like be laying in bed and I'd be like choking myself with my hair because it's so long. Like it literally was so.
Well, this is good then.
It was so long.
This is
it kept going core, or like me and Ali be cuddling, and it'd just be like it like pull me.
well. At least you're not having
Being choked
hair
by my hair
crises.
anymore.
Yeah.
Exactly. Now I have the opposite option. There's none there.
Well, there's not none. It's still long. It has to be very dramatic. It's not like a bob cut. It's not. It's below your shoulders.
Yeah, but it's not like it's loads shorter. It's like 10 inches shorter than it was
oh
before.
my goodness.
So now I'm gonna have to find every single like hair growth remedy out there. Like I'm gonna be oiling my hair. I'm gonna take those hair skin and nails tablets.
Hair does grow.
It needs to grow quickly.
It'll grow quicker than you think.
Yeah, but
It really will. And so we were trying to take some cute pics in the hot tub last night. And Tash was like, "This is just I'm not." And you were like wetting your hair, and you were.
I was like trying to like get it to look okay.
Oh my god, it looked stunning.
No. And I've washed it, and usually that makes it look better because like my own shampoo and conditioner. But no,
I've had
Still
some
not happy.
faux pas with my hair because my hair is so curly. It needs length in order to like when it's cut too short. There's not enough weight to it, and it just it springs up and it's afro. It's proper afro vibes. Like Orphan Annie. Yeah. The sun will come out tomorrow.
the sun will come out tomorrow. Didn't you put little blonde bits in your hair once upon a time?
I did. They get a little lost in my hair.
Yeah.
I think because it's so curly, it's so messy. It would need a significant amount to show up. But I've decided I want to dye my hair purple. This is the first step in my crisis, my identity crisis.
Step 1, dye hair purple.
Step 2, get a tattoo.
Yeah.
Step 3, piercing.
Ooh.
Probably nose.
Yeah, I think nose piercing.
I think so.
I feel like that's a very you thing to do.
What's step 4? We've got to up the ante every time.
I don't know.
Run away from home.
Yeah, run away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't wait. Maybe I'll do that one first.
Yeah.
Because I have to do all the others with not being at home. Because otherwise my parents will
freak out.
So,
well, you can hide the tattoo.
I can hide the tattoo.
You couldn't hide the nose piercing.
Couldn't hide the nose piercing unless I was pierced somewhere else.
Yeah, exactly.
The hair is a little bit of a that's just going to be seen.
Yeah.
It's going to have to be seen.
I feel like the hair one you're going to have to wait till you disappear.
Probably. I think
Otherwise,
so.
They're just going to have a meltdown.
Yeah, they will have a meltdown.
They will.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got to listen to our Exposing Our Notes app episode. But which is incredibly juicy, and I have a little bit of vulnerability hangover from it.
Yours is way better than mine.
But
mine are boring compared to yours. Yours are like deep and meaningful and insightful and a bit dramatic. And mine are just song lyrics interspersed with some like messages that thank God I never sent to people. Thank God.
Thank God.
Yeah.
I love exposing myself.
Well, it was fun though. We had some wines and we had my campaign now, and I need you guys to help us with this.
Ooh.
Is to like those episodes more than the rest of them, so that we have to just get a little tipsy and and that's how we do the podcast.
Yeah,
it'll be Utterly Unfiltered, the wine edition.
Yeah,
and I'm good with that.
Yeah,
I'm yeah.
I feel like that is your vibe. If you could pick the niche, you would definitely pick like
wine
tipsy girl talk.
Tipsy girl talk.
Yeah,
has a ring.
Yeah,
does have a ring.
But alrighty, it was a beautiful day here. How are you? What's been going on with you?
Oh, what's been going on with me? Not too much. I've got Yeah, I've got a busy day. We're doing the pod now, which is fun. Had a nice breakfast. Tash is going to listen to Taylor Swift for the rest of the day because we've reignited the passion for Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
That was also fun, to be fair. Post hot tub last night, just like screaming our lungs out to the speak now, but original versions that we now don't feel guilty listening to.
Oh, it's the best feeling.
She's got her rights to her music bag.
I'm so happy about that. Because honestly,
God.
like I was obviously always advocating for Taylor's version. However,
it's not the same.
They're not the same.
They're not the same.
They're not the same. And she did an amazing job. Like, I do think Fearless, I said this last night, but Fearless is the best cover.
Yeah.
Like,
the best her version.
Yeah, the best Taylor's version is definitely Fearless. She did a really good job with that one. Speak Now was a
Speak
flop.
Now was just so dramatic when it was like the original, you know?
Yeah.
It was just so
I didn't
iconic.
like the new production. I don't understand why they changed it. It just did not vibe for me at all.
Yeah.
And so I feel like, yeah, 1989. Oof. No. Did not enjoy the new cover of 1989. So, you know.
Yeah. No,
I'm happy we've got the originals back again.
And we're happy for her as well.
Exactly. Because it's her music and she deserves it. Go
absolutely.
Taylor.
Go Taylor.
But it was actually nice as well last night because we had a couple of drinks, but like maybe I had like half a bottle of Prosecco, which is quite a lot for me. I was pretty tipsy by the end. But like not like drunk, I guess.
A good level.
And like singing Taylor Swift is like always a thing I do. You know, like every time, doesn't matter. Like all my friends are Swifties. Like we always sing Taylor Swift when we're drunk. It's just, it has to be done.
It's the thing that it's the ritual.
It is the ritual. And it was just so nice to do it and then go to bed and not wake up with a hangover the next day. Like I just feel fantastic.
I don't
about
think
that.
we just sang Taylor Swift. I think we were Taylor Swift.
Yes, we did.
We thought we
bellowed.
It came from somewhere.
It did.
Deep down.
It did.
So no.
We also underestimated, what song was it where we were like, oh,
the range. Haunted?
No, Long Live.
Oh, Long Live.
Long Live. My God.
Anyone who says Taylor Swift cannot sing.
Yeah, needs to try to sing that song.
Good luck.
Because the notes in that were chaotic. It was that was the epitome of screeching on our side.
I'm just having like sound audio flashbacks.
Yeah.
And Tash went for them. I'm so impressed you went. I didn't even go for them. I know my range.
I always go for them.
But Tash went for them. My God, did you go for them?
And missed hard.
Yeah, no, I respect
So
it.
funny.
I respect the effort
Taylor.
though. Yeah, the Eras tour was a year ago this weekend, or the one you went to, right? Mine, I think.
I went to opening night in the UK.
Did. Mine, I think, will be next week.
Yeah.
This time.
Yeah.
So sad. What was your highlight of the Eras tour?
Oh my God, great question. Oh, I think hard. Okay, so I feel like definitely our surprise songs were the best. We had Daylight and Shoulda Coulda Woulda.
Shoulda Coulda Woulda, yeah.
Shoulda Coulda Woulda is such a good such a good song.
Yeah, to
and
be
then
fair.
Daylight, she was like, she's obviously going to play the song for the first time because like it was a light evening, like, and obviously she'd been playing in winter.
Yep.
And then also like in other countries, and then she came to the UK and it was her first UK night.
Yes.
And she was like, it's light out. Like it was like completely light out because it's June. I mean, like it is now. It's light until like 10 o'clock at night. So she was like, she's gonna play Daylight for that reason, which I thought was really
That's cute.
Yeah.
Who was your special guest?
I don't think we had a special guest.
Oh.
No, I know, either night.
We didn't.
No.
We had Hayley Williams came up back on stage and they sang Castles Crumbling. Her and Taylor on the piano. That was one of the surprise songs. But Paramore opened that night.
Yeah,
so it wasn't like it wasn't anyone new.
Paramore opened both nights in Edinburgh and in London when I was at the two I was at. But my like funniest moment, I guess, which isn't really that funny, but it just made me like realize, I guess, the power of perspective, was, you know, last night when I was shooting that video and you were like, oh my God, you're so close.
Yes,
like to the stage. I didn't actually like tell you the story because we were just busy singing. But that was so funny because we were like a big group of girls and there's a big bird of prey outside. And it was 7 or 8 of us and we were all standing and we were like stood up for Paramore to come on, and there was like a couple of girls. There was like 2 girls in front of me, and then there was like a couple behind me, and then I was kind of like in between them because obviously it's a big group of us, so it's like, you know, you're just a bit like spread out in the crowd. And these two girls and a couple I don't know, like they're just like randomers, right? The 2 girls in front of me when Paramore comes on, she like one of them squeals to her best friend like, oh my God, we're so close, like I can't believe that like Taylor's gonna be like that close to us like so soon. It's crazy. Like she was like literally like squealing to her friend, you know, friend or sister or something like that. And then I'm not even kidding, like 5 minutes later, the couple behind me, the woman's like bitching to the man, like, oh, we're so far away, like, why are we even here? Like, it's not even worth it. Like, I'm not going to see anything from here. And he's like, do you want to go closer? She's like, no, it's fine. Like, I'm guessing that, like, earlier she was like trying to like get them to go closer, and he was like, no, we're good here. And then now she's like getting him back for it. Yeah. But I was like, the power of perspective.
So true.
In that moment, they are literally one person difference. Yeah. Which is not very, like, I am, you know, like a foot wide.
Yeah. No,
like,
exactly.
We're not talking about a huge amount.
No.
And I just found that so funny. Just like, just the power of perspective.
That actually is quite interesting. But we were going to do a podcast episode on this, right? The power of perspective. Because like you could literally have the same situation, but two different mindsets and ways of perceiving it. Yeah. That will affect your entire perspective of reality. Yeah. Quite interesting. We were a little bit further than you. I think my problem was that, like, there were tall people in front of me, and I was like,
we hate the tall people.
We hate the tall people.
Sorry, guys.
Just don't grow.
Just don't grow.
Shrink a little bit if you're going to go to the Eras tour. But I love the vibe. Like, I didn't know as many of the inside, like, fandom jokes and things. Or, like, when she would sing and then the audience would sing.
Really?
Like, I kind of got a little swept up in it. So I was like, what's happening? I should have done my research. But the friendship bracelets were fun. I didn't swap with anyone, but I only had two. So I was like, mine. And I dressed in this little sequin outfit. I was Midnights. I was the era of Midnights.
Nice.
It's really uncomfortable sequins, but they were. It's fine. And I was like, I'm not drinking any water. I'm not drinking any alcohol. I'm not going for a week. Because when you find your way through that crowd, like, you can't leave because you'll never find each other again. Like your friends, you'll never find them again. What did you dress up as? I feel like you went.
I was Reputation. Yeah. Okay. For the first one, I had a really nice, like, SLA the label, which actually is closed now, which is annoying, but dress. Like black sparkly dress, and then a black blazer, black cowboy boots, and then I had little snake earrings that Iona had, which was so good because it looked perfect with my outfit. I don't think I had anything else, and then I just did all like black eyeliner and just went full Reputation.
Like it.
And then for when I went in August, I went with Ali and then with Iona and her boyfriend Matt, and we did Lover.
Nice.
Yeah, so Ali had a I can't remember what it was. I think it was a pink t-shirt that said Karma on it, and then a pink cap. And I was wearing my pink. I have this pink like baby doll dress, you know, like summer dress thing that I've had for years that I wear all the time.
Cute.
I wore that with like heart. I had heart earrings. Actually, they're the ones I was wearing yesterday.
Oh, nice. They're so pretty. Yeah, they look like cherry hearts.
Nice. And then I just I had pink trainers. So I went full pink as well. Pink eyeliner, pink everything. Like, I just went full send the colour.
I like that you did the whole like completely black.
Yeah,
like,
I went
sort of
Reputation.
Gothic, like,
I went from my Reputation era to my Lover era.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Wait, what did she do? She did too. What's the order of it? Was Reputation then Lover? Did you have anything in between?
I think so.
I think she did.
Or was 1989 in between?
No, 1989 was
okay, well then
Reputation.
It's Reputation then Lover.
Reputation was like Wounded Animal, I'm striking back at you. Lover is like, okay, I'm over that now.
Yeah, I think it was also timeline-wise as well. Obviously, Reputation has some Joe songs on it, and so does Lover. So that's like
that would make sense.
The crossover, whereas 1989 doesn't have any Joe songs, so that's definitely that order.
Folklore Evermore, quite a few Joe. Yes. I mean, he was with her for a good 4 albums, right?
Yeah, although I feel like Folklore and Evermore like aren't really Joe. They're just kind of like they're like storytelling, aren't they?
True. I
feel like there's a couple of songs, but like a lot of them are just like about her,
more whimsical,
about like fake characters, about like friends.
Okay.
So I feel like they are much less.
Oh, the Bon Iver songs that they do.
Exile
and Evermore. Are like beautiful.
Yeah,
I love Bon Iver. I just love his voice. I just think it transports me somewhere else. Yeah. It's amazing.
What was your highlight from the Eras tour?
My highlight was honestly, it wasn't even okay. So seeing her was one thing. Mm-hmm. I think we were a little spoiled because we'd seen her a few times before.
Yeah,
right? It was my 4th time.
Yeah, we've been quite a lot of times.
So it wasn't just like it wasn't seeing her. She was amazing. Obviously, Taylor Swift would be the highlight of seeing the Eras tour, but it was honestly like the journey to the Eras tour in London, from where my friend who was staying with, from where It's Neil lived to the Eras tour. It was just the most bizarre like thing because it was almost like, you know, when there's like a football World Cup, and you've got all the England fans, like they were just, everyone was Taylor Swift, everyone was just Taylor Swift like fans, and the energy on the trains, and everyone was singing her songs on the trains, and you could see other people's outfits, and some people were like Travis Kelce, and some people were... I was just like, this is never going to happen again. No. This is like a movement.
I agree with you, because in Edinburgh, like, every single shop, even Tesco, was playing Taylor Swift. Like, all of them had, like, signs, you know, like, welcoming Taylor Swift to the Eras Tour. Like, every bar on the street was doing, like, lover cocktails and, like, you know, like, bizarre Taylor specials. Like, literally.
It was mania.
Everywhere, sorry.
It was mania. It was like the Olympics.
Yeah, it was.
It was like if London hosted the Olympics again. That was what it was like.
Like, even all the... you know, the well-known places were still, like, even, like, Barclays Bank was, you know...
Yeah.
During the Eras Tour. It's, like, crazy.
So cool.
Yeah.
So cool.
I loved it.
I miss it.
I know,
It's never going to happen again, Tash. I mean...
It is heartbreaking. But you can watch it anytime on Disney+, so...
I haven't watched it.
Have you not? Oh, I've watched it quite a few times,
probably watch it.
I like to put it on, like... And maybe I'll put it on later when I edit.
Oh, true.
I just like to put it on in the background.
Because you got the music as well. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I might have to watch it.
And I feel like every time you see it, like, something else you notice, like a song or a nuance or something.
Because it's hard to pick that all up from where you're standing. It was more of, like, a theatre production, I felt, than a concert.
Absolutely. There's just so much going on.
She was almost playing a part in every era, right? It wasn't just Taylor Swift. It was, like, her in her different versions, which is obvious to say.
Yeah.
I loved it. Alrighty, shall we get into the
I feel like the ones who don't like Taylor Swift amongst us are probably, like, tuned out by now. Sorry, guys.
Well, if you don't like Taylor Swift, why are you listening to this podcast?
Yeah, I mean, that's a fair point.
No, I'm joking. Please come back. We are accepting of everyone, even non-Taylor Swift fans.
Although you're wrong.
I judge you slightly. Well, I don't think they're wrong. I think they're in denial, honestly.
Fair.
So maybe we should be more sympathetic.
Yeah, maybe we should.
Yeah. Tash, tell me, why do you keep saying yes instead? Well, firstly, do you keep saying yes? Are you a yes person?
I have realised that I am.
Okay.
And it's just crazy because, again, it goes against, like, all the things I kind of believe about myself. Like, strong boundaries. And I do what I want. And I'm stubborn. And all these things. Yes, she is stubborn.
No. Just a little bit like,
Yeah. So I find it interesting that I've realised that I do keep saying yes. But I guess where my keep saying yes comes from is from a place of, like, one, not knowing how to delegate.
Yep.
And two, feeling like it's easier if I just do it myself.
Okay.
So it's like, less so, like, I feel like my case is I less so keep saying yes because I'm, like, a people pleaser or I don't want to upset somebody. It's more so that, like, I don't even know how to say no.
Okay.
So, like, just, like...
When you say you don't know how to say no, you mean the actual physical act of saying no to someone or something? Or do you mean you don't know how to come to that decision?
Well, because if I say no, someone else has to do it. But if I know how to do it, I then have to tell them how to do it.
Okay.
And, like, that seems too much for me.
The
like
whole process of explaining and delegating.
Yeah.
And
so I'd rather just
releasing
do it
control.
Myself.
Okay.
So I noticed this massively at work where I was, like, overfilling my plate hugely with things because I know I can just do it myself rather than get a client to, like, test something or fix something or contact the support team of the company that they're struggling with by themselves. I would just be like, I'll do that for you, you know, like, oh, I think we have a contact. Oh, you know, I can test it for you first, or, oh, I'll work out why that's not working for you. And I put all the onus on me as opposed to putting the onus on them, even though, like, the onus is not on me. It's not my responsibility. It's not my role. It's not like really the client should have more of a clue of their own platform than I should. But for some reason, I'm just like, it's just easier if I just do it for you.
Okay.
It means I don't have to bother trying to explain to you. And then also it means that it will get done right.
So I was going to say, do you have trust issues with people producing the work to the standard that you would?
Okay. And also just to the point where it would even work.
Okay.
Like, I just feel like, again, this is like a huge underestimation of people as well, because, like, a lot of the people I'm working with are way more senior than me. But I'm like, you're clearly not tech savvy. Like, you can't even fucking do this one thing. Like, I'll just do it for you. When it's like, actually, that just shouldn't be the case. Or like, people will be lazy. Like, for, like, this is such tiny things I'm just going to explain because it just makes more sense, I guess. But, like, we have to have, like, a list of the users they want us to import into the platform. And there's a spreadsheet already ready for them, where they have tick boxes as to what they want the users to access. Okay, so do they want to be able to access the lead records? Do they want to be able to access the reporting, the platform, the templates, the metrics, that kind of thing? Because not everyone should, right? If you're front of house, you probably only need access to the leads. You don't need access to reporting or finances or, all these different things. So there's settings that you configure. And it's the client's responsibility to tell us who they want to be able to use these different pieces, because we don't know these people, right? But clients will just be like, just do what's normal for a consultant. So I'll be like, okay, fine, whatever, I'll do what's normal. I do what's normal. And then 3 weeks later when we go live with it, they're like, oh, why does this person have access to this? It's like, well, because that's what's normal for a consultant. Well, can you change that, please? Well, that's an incredibly manual process. And now I have to go in and change it, even though technically they could change it, but they wouldn't even need to change it if they had just done it all at the beginning. Right. But I don't push, I guess I don't have like enough ability to be like, no, this is on you. Like, you fix this. I'm not going to just do it for you.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
It's just easier, right? It's more simple. It's more straightforward. You do it. You're in control.
Yeah.
You know it's going to get done. You know the way you want it done, and it's fine.
But what I've realised is that, like...
That's burnout, by the way. That's how burnout happens.
Oh, I believe it, because now I've quit. Because I have burnout, to be honest with you. I didn't even really believe burnout existed until I started this job.
It's a thing, guys.
Yeah. I was like, nah, it's fine, guys. Like, can't be that hard. Literally dying. Like, no, I 100% have burnout. Which is so ridiculous to even say out loud, because I'm like, I was there for like 5 months. It can't be that deep, but it is that deep, unfortunately. But what I've realized, and this is again perfect example of what you just said, is like, I then just won't do it because I don't have the capacity, so it doesn't get done at all. So then I was saying yes to so many things and putting so many things on my plate that it got to the point where I couldn't physically do everything on the plate. And then that stuff wasn't getting done. And then I go back into the next meeting next week and I wouldn't have done something, and therefore I am failing at something.
Right.
But it's all self-inflicted. And like, being someone who I just feel like I just put my all into everything. I don't like to let myself down in that way. I can't half-ass things. I really can't half-ass things. And so I would realize I was doing that by unintentionally, and then that just then talk about crumbling your confidence. Like, when you believe something about yourself to be true and then you're evidencing it to yourself that it's not. Oh my god, like, not a good place to be in. But it's all my fault. I should have just said no. Like, why do I keep saying yes?
And the tasks that you're saying yes to and being selective in those would mean that the quality of those would probably be to the standard that you would want, that you would require. There'd be less of them because you'd be saying no to and delegating the ones that you don't need to do. But the ones you did do would be like properly done. But it's easier said than done. Like, that's not a criticism. I know I'm the same. Mine is more social. Mine is more like saying, I struggle to say no to social things, to the point where I think like social exhaustion has definitely been a thing. I do consider myself to be extroverted, but to a point. Right? Not like working all day and then socializing in the evenings and then weekends too. But mine comes more from a place of insecurity, I think, and like loneliness or fear of loneliness even, maybe not even, and avoiding. I think if I say no to things, I have to be with myself. And I have to face things and address things. And I don't like that. So being with people is almost like a distraction from it.
Interesting.
And I do suffer from FOMO. I get a bit of FOMO. And I feel like if I keep saying no, will people stop asking me to do things?
And if they stop asking, you're going to have to spend more time alone.
Right. And sometimes it's not that I want to necessarily do that thing that night just because I'm tired, but I don't want them to not have the opportunity in the future.
Do you feel like that's true? That if you said no to something one time, they wouldn't ask you the next?
Not one time, but we know this about me. I'm very extreme. So I think the danger with me is if I say no one time, I might just have 3 weeks where I just become a hermit and don't do anything. As opposed to, instead of this week, can we do like next week? I don't know if that's within me.
You struggle to find a balance of like, I'm going to commit to only 2 social events a week rather than 8 this week and none next week.
Yeah, exactly. God. That is true. That's very accurate. So mine is more of in the sense of work. I'm very good at delegating. Well, I just don't have as much at the moment. Maybe because the thing that I really want to thrive at is music. And so that's where a lot of my sort of pride and work ethic is coming from. With work, sometimes I feel a bit guilty that I'm not doing as much as I could. I'm doing bare minimum. And I also do want to do a good job, and I also reread my reports and I'm thorough. but not to the point where I'm perfectionist with it. I'm more than happy if someone comes to me and says, oh, you know, I've got a bit of time, you want me to like write up that note? I'll be like, yeah, please, that'd be fantastic. So maybe it comes down to priorities and I don't know.
I think that makes a lot of sense.
Energy levels. But how to teach you to delegate? Well, okay. Shall I give you advice? You give me advice.
Please. I would love to know how to delegate, honestly.
So, cool. So yours is, I don't know. I mean, I think the more that you do it, the more that the trust will build. And I think if you start with simple tasks that maybe, like, even if they were to go wrong or wouldn't be to the standard you would expect or want them to be.
Yeah.
Maybe they're just so insignificant that if someone stuffed it up, it wouldn't matter too much.
Yeah.
So if it's something, so, you know, don't go and delegate like this massive project that you're going to have your name all over and it's a presentation or whatever. Start with small things.
Yeah.
Like start with, I don't know your role, so it's role specific. But start with little things. Like, you know, could you type this up for me? Or could you contact this customer? Or could you, you know, like something small that actually if it went wrong, it's okay.
Yeah.
And it's almost like starting to build the trust in other people with that. And then I guess it's sitting with the discomfort of if something does go wrong in your mind, if something isn't right, you know, I think it's putting it back into perspective and thinking like, okay, kind of feels a bit shitty. Does it really impact me? Does it really reflect on me?
Do you ever feel bad about like adding to someone else's workload though?
Yeah, I guess that's the tricky part is normally if people offer things, I'm happy to do them, to kind of relinquish the control. It's more so, I don't know if I could ask people to. It just very much depends. It depends if that person, like I'm quite perceptive and if I can see they're struggling. So maybe this is also where you pick and choose who you delegate to, right? Like if it's someone who I know has got a shit ton to do and they're a little bit frazzled, you can tell in people's body language, right? Like they're walking, they're pacing, they're walking faster. Remote work, true, shit.
So this is the issue I have where I'm like, because I feel like, and again, I don't want to keep harping on about work, but like I feel like I asked my manager like who can I delegate to, and like I don't know, like still. Now I know because I've quit, so I have to
hand the role over. Do you have a hierarchy though? Do you have a like
no,
these are people
flat structure?
So that's where it's difficult. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is difficult because I don't know, like it's almost like you don't know where to turn to for support.
Okay, so if you are someone who struggles to delegate, the tasks that are delegated to you, who are they delegated to you from? Or is it just
it would just be from my boss.
From your boss. So instead of you being able to directly delegate to them, is there an option in which you can say, no, I'm sorry, I can't take this on, I have too much on my plate, please find someone else?
Yeah.
And then her to do it.
That's actually a very good point.
I mean, because once you take on the responsibility, then I can understand and appreciate that it's hard to release it.
Yes.
But could you just not take it on?
I think that's something I should have done earlier on in the process.
Yeah, you almost have to set the sort of...
Yeah.
Set the
You have to set the intentions, for the relationship. For sure. I think that's a very good point. I feel like that's a good point for people listening as well, though, is like you said, like, rather than just saying yes to everything because you want to please, think about whether or not you can actually do the thing to a good standard before you say yes.
Yeah.
And if you can't be okay with saying, you don't even have to say, like, I can't do this. You could at least say, is there somebody else who could cover this? Because I have a full day today, for example. Because I feel like that's actually such a good point. It's like, I'll often get, another reason why obviously I've quit, but like, I'll have like back-to-back meetings because I have so many client calls and no support on them. And then I'll have a message from my boss being like, you haven't got back to this person's email. Like, you need to get back to it urgently. It's urgent. And I'm like, but she's CC'd in. Right. And it's like, well, you get back then. Because if you look at my calendar, you can see that I can't actually physically, I'd have to be talking to a client and typing at the same time.
Sure.
Like, in order to actually send this email. Okay. But it's not the case of just sending the email. It's a case of working out what went wrong, trying to fix it, sending the email to ask questions. So it's like, there's physically no way to do it.
Well, also, you can't split your attention if you're speaking to a client.
It's literally not possible.
Well, it's also not right. Like, your time is then for them.
Of course. You know, and it's also literally not possible. Because I'm having a two-way conversation with them. So I'd have to say, guys, shut up for 5 minutes. And I'd have to go and do the thing. So it's like, that's actually such a good point as like actually being like, you have evidence that you're that you don't have gap for it. So it's like, sorry, my calendar's full this morning. Do you mind getting back or giving it to somebody else to get back to?
And it's the same for me socially, in the sense of like, once I've committed to something, once I've made the plan in the diary, okay, cool, I'm seeing this person for coffee next Tuesday, then it's really hard for me to, I'm very then committed. Like, I hate to be the person that flakes. Like, I'd literally probably have to be having a migraine, or diarrhea, to be like, I probably can't see you, sorry. So and other reasons, I'm sure, but once I've made the plan, once I've said the initial yes, like then I have to just do it.
Yeah.
But I guess, and actually not I guess, I know that if that person had to say to me in the planning stage, shall we meet up next Tuesday? And if I know I've got other shit on, or I know I'm feeling exhausted, that's my opportunity to say, actually, sorry, next week's a bit crammed. Can we do the following week?
Yeah.
So it's actually like, I'm the same as you. It's like once it's with us, once the appointment or the plan or the event or the task is kind of in your hands.
Yeah.
Then we have to continue with it.
Yeah.
We can't sort of, we're the personality types that we struggle to then back out of it.
Yeah.
So I think for us both, it's really important to recognize when we're actually being tasked with something, or we're actually setting the plan in the diary. That's our opportunity to be like, do we actually want to do this, or can we actually do this?
And I feel like that's a good point, and it's good advice if you are starting a new job, or like even a new friendship or something, or a new club or a new group or whatever it is rather than being a yes man straight away, if someone tries to put something on your plate, you can always ask them why. Because I feel like that's something I did wrong at the beginning, was I just was a yes man. I just said yes to everything, but honestly, mostly because at the beginning I did have the capacity for it, because obviously things hadn't built up. I hadn't built my client roster yet, so I was still like, there were still gaps in my day. I could do these things, but then the responsibility never got taken off my plate because no one to give it to. So then I just continued doing that and everything else. So I feel like it's like, you've got to set that expectation early on. Like, maybe don't sign up to a club that requires you meeting them every single Wednesday if you already know that your calendar's about to get busy in terms of like social events this summer or whatever. It's like, maybe you need to save joining French class to winter when you've got less things on.
That's absolutely the thing. It's like, you don't have to say no to everything. I think it's prioritizing. It's prioritizing your time. So if you have limited time, like when I've had limited time for music, when I've been working, I've had to say no to other certain things I've had to give, social, for example, or even specific music activities. I had to spend a little bit less time on social media so I could go and do guitar lessons. Like, it's not about saying no to everything. Like, you need to take on opportunities and work tasks. You don't have the luxury of just saying no to work.
No,
unfortunately. So it's being selective with what you say yes to, I guess, and actually prioritizing. Maybe whether you like making lists about things and then deciding kind of where that fits in your priority list, whether you're someone who likes the sort of pie chart of saying yes to enough things in different areas, so enough social, enough work, enough leisure time, enough, spirituality, whatever it is that looks like in your life. If you're someone who likes a balance, that's probably what I should do. I should become rebalanced and recentered with myself. But there's various different ways to do it. I think it's just being comfortable with the saying no, being comfortable with letting someone down, and just trusting that they will reach out, that they'll still be there for you, and maybe explaining and being honest about it, and being kind to yourself. I think having self-compassion is important.
Definitely.
We shouldn't be expected. I think this world that we live in thrives off of the notion that we always have to be productive and we always have to be busy, and it's selfish to take time, or it's lazy to take time for yourself, which is less so an issue with us, more so maybe like parent generations, but that's how I was taught. And I think it's just actually being like, no, my time and my I matter too. Like, serving myself matters too. So if that means having a bad day and shutting yourself off from the world, or if it means taking on less work tasks and having a mindfulness walk, even though you should really be like typing that note, like, take time for yourself, I think is important.
I love that. I think that's really important.
I was thinking of a film actually when you were talking, and it was it's The Yes Man with Jim Carrey?
I don't know. I don't think I've ever seen it.
Basically, he's someone who always says no, and then goes to this like self-help conference, and they set this task of like saying yes to everything, and so he says yes to everything, and he gets into like all of these situations. Obviously, inevitably, it ends up being like a good thing for him because he's someone who always says no. But I feel like we need the opposite. We need like the no man. We need like,
we do, because
just for a week just say no to everything.
I agree, and this is the reason, is because obviously we're learning here to set boundaries, and I do believe in the whole, we talked about this many times, but you have to overcorrect to correct.
Yes.
And I really truly believe that. I think that feeds into like literally everything in the world, and I I feel like in this case, if you are someone who just keeps saying yes to everything, in two different ways, right? Like me and Cara are like that in two different ways. Like I definitely don't get FOMO, but I feel like I have a responsibility to say yes to things.
Sure.
Whereas I feel like you're much better at delegating, but you don't want to let people down.
Mine's a social related, and yours is a work related.
Yeah, definitely. And I feel like, and organization related too. Like I'll always be the one to organize the trip, to organize the weekend, to organize this, because I'm good at it. So I'll just say yes. It's like, actually someone else could probably do the organizing. But what I was going to say was like, sometimes you have to overcorrect and just say no for a while. And then you'll get to a point where you'll be like, okay, actually, like, I feel like now I have an understanding of what, like, I'm missing in my life. Because if you keep saying no to things, then you might realize, you know, for even at work, for example, like, there might be some opportunities that come onto your plate. Like, do you want to support with this marketing project? You know, can we collect some case studies or something that actually might bring you a lot of joy that you really don't know? And so if you keep saying no to things like that, then you might get to a point where you're like, oh, actually, there are certain aspects that I would like to add to my plate. Like, even if I don't necessarily have a huge amount of capacity, like, that's fun. Like, I would quite like to, you know, collect some case studies or do some market research, talk to some clients in a positive atmosphere.
Sure.
Or like, you know what, actually, I am missing, you know, a level of social time in terms of like activity. Maybe I need to join like a tag rugby or a tennis class or something like that, because I want the group socialization and the activity, but I don't want to just sit in a restaurant or sit at a coffee shop, you know? So I've said no to all those coffee shop dates, but maybe my friend might want to do a yoga class with me.
So you haven't actually said no to the spending time with that person. It just looks differently.
Yeah.
You've just reframed what it looks like so that you can both gain value from it.
I don't feel like any of us ever want to not spend time with the people that we care about.
Sure.
We always want to. It's just whether or not we want to do the thing that involves spending time with them.
But I like the perspective of it doesn't have to be a hard no.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't actually have to be a black and white yes or no in some respects. It can just be I'd still love to see you, but I'm feeling a little tired. Could you just like pop over for a cup of tea instead of us go out for lunch, and let's do that another time?
Absolutely.
Like, it doesn't have to be. Again, someone who always does this, because I mean, live in extremes. For me, I am very much a yes or no. Like, if I don't feel up for going to lunch, I'm probably just going to say, let's reschedule.
Yeah.
But I could actually have the discipline to say, I'm not really up for going to somewhere crowded where I'm going to have to like battle for parking and all that shit. Can I just pop around, or can we just go for a walk?
Yeah.
Like, I could actually do it still, but make it look a little different than what it originally was.
I agree. I feel like I did this kind of something similar, I guess, recently, which was I feel like I had to go, when I was living at Ali's parents, there was quite a few things I had to go into London for. Just like events and stuff, meeting mum, like just did a few London bits. And then I have a couple of friends who live in London who I wanted to see, but I was like, listen guys, like individually, this each one of them, I was just like, I really don't want to go back into London. I was like, I feel like I've been in London consistently, and it's such an effort, and it's so expensive, and it takes up my whole day, and I don't like London. I find it very overwhelming. I've lived there for 18 months, but like, I don't like it. I don't want to live there. I don't really want to go there. Like, it just doesn't, like, unless I'm going for a real reason. Like, if I was going to go to a specific market or have a voyage or something amazing, then sure. Yeah. But like, just to go and have lunch somewhere, like, can we not?
Yeah.
So with each one of them, we compromised in terms of like, one of my friends I met halfway. Nice. The other friend came to mine for the day, and then she got the train back this time. The other friend, I went to her house instead, and that's not actually in London. Like, so we kind of found like a compromise in terms of like, I wanted to see them because I love them and I want to hang out, but I really didn't want to be overstimulated and strapped for cash in the middle of London. So that's where I set that boundary.
And you'd be surprised in terms of other people meeting you there.
Yeah.
And meeting you, if you're honest and open with them about it. Like, again, there's this thing of like kind of reframing what it looks like. So I have an example of a friend who I was meant to meet in the city, and she lives in the city in Norwich. And I said to her, I was like, I'm sorry, my anxiety's a bit high at the moment. Like, and parking is something of a trigger for me. So because of my parking anxiety, I had explained to my friend, about how I was feeling, and you know, and I said to her, do you mind if we meet up maybe somewhere outside of the city, somewhere where it's like open parking, where I don't have to like deal with the stress of that, and even beyond, you know, her saying, yeah, that's fine, she was like, oh, don't worry, I'll come and pick you up. And I was like, you really don't have to do that. Like, I'm not scared of driving. I just want to park somewhere that's open. And she said, no, don't worry, I'm coming your way, I'm picking you up. And she came by my house, and then we went to like a little local cafe, which, again, I would have been fine to do. But I think it's just accepting that, and well, it's appreciating that actually people will if you're honest as to why you're setting the boundary or why you're adapting a plan that you've made, and if it's a legit reason, like, people will often surprise you and be really accommodating.
Yeah.
So
you don't have to always be the one who says yes.
Yeah.
I feel like it's one of those things, like, I completely agree with you, and I think, like, one of my kind of cheat sheets or hacks for this that I've tried starting to do, actually specifically with friends, less so than with work, but also with work too, but it's just less relevant in my role, is sometimes if you just say nothing, somebody else will put their hand up.
Yeah. Okay.
So, like, it's so easy. Like, if you're talking to your friend about, we should do a girls trip, for example.
Yeah,
We should do a girls trip somewhere. How fun would that be? Like, oh my God, I'd love that, you know? And then it's so easy, especially for me, being a planner, to be like, oh, I'll have a look at the Airbnbs this weekend. Like, I'll find something, you know? Like, and then I've added something to my plate that, realistically speaking, I'm not going to do.
Sure.
Or I'm going to just forget, or I'm going to run out of time, or it's going to add, like, I'm doing it at midnight, you know, and just things like that. If you just say nothing, 9 times out of 10, if the other person is not, like, completely, like, unable to do those kinds of things, they're just gonna say, I'll do it.
That's true. I'm actually good at this with work.
Are you?
Like, there will be, like, a team meeting we'll have, and my manager will say, oh, does someone mind like taking on this task, or you know, calling this parent or whatever. And I'm very good at just, like, looking away and just staying silent. And it's always awkward.
Yeah.
It's always awkward silence, because always everyone does the same thing. But it's like a battle of willpowers, really.
Yeah.
I'm just the last one to actually...
One person will
Or I'm
crack
not even
first.
the last, but yeah, there's someone else that cracks.
Yeah.
Someone else that finds it more awkward than I do to be silent. And they will be like, okay, I'll do it. And I'll be like, oh, thanks.
Or is
like,
more
great,
happy
great.
to add it to their plate.
Exactly.
You know?
So these are little things that we hope you guys, you know, maybe benefit from, or probably already do. If you have any other tips for us, how to say
let us
no,
know, honestly.
that would be fantastic, because we both, again, as I say, we both struggle with
Something we're learning.
Yeah. We'll get there.
Yeah,
The more we do it,
absolutely.
I think the more it's like action has to come first.
It does, and also
then-
realization
Yeah.
is, like, the first step. It's like, I don't know, it's like anything. It's like admitting that you have a problem is the first step to recovery.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm admitting, like, I've realized from now, like,
I'm a
I
yes
have
addict.
a problem with this. Like, I just do say yes to too many things. I don't need to.
So good.
So now it's like the steps that I'm going to take to actually, like, backtrack on that a little bit.
Sure.
You know?
Guys, thank you so much. This was another episode
Yeah.
brought to you by Tash and Cara of Utterly
Utterly
Unfiltered.
Unfiltered.
We haven't done you for so long. You.
There you go.
Please come back next week. Next week, I think we've got maybe a little fun one. A little
Yeah,
light-hearted one.
we might do.
We might
Might mix
do.
it up,
I
you
don't
know.
know, actually. I was looking at Tash and thinking,
Well,
do you do these
You know
in
what
order?
I keep
don't
doing?
know.
I know, it's hilarious. Is what we keep saying in these episodes, like last week's episode.
I know.
I don't post these in order of us recording them.
Oh,
we
guys.
record them in order of what we feel like talking about.
Why are we so hopeless at this?
I don't know.
Maybe this is part of our vibe. Utterly Unfiltered.
It
You
is.
just never know if you've missed an episode or if we
play
made it
around.
up.
We did play around with, like, other names, didn't we? And, like, things like chaos came up,
That
or
would have
unhinged
probably been-
came up. Yeah,
That would have
like,
probably been more accurate.
Yeah,
but
I mean,
you know, it's
all
cool.
of these are accurate.
This
to
one
be
has a
honest,
ring.
So.
Synonyms.
Thank you so much
thanks,
for joining
guys.
us. Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow, share with a friend, and we'll
Find
see
us
you
on
back
socials.
here next Wednesday.
Cool. Bye.